Well. Could this be that Meghan is finally reading the room and understanding that her popularity in the UK is way lower than Sadiq Khan's US cameras? Which means that nobody wants Meghan around, of course. Because it so happens that in the Invictus Games schedule, she is nowhere to be found in the closing ceremony schedule. There are reports that she's going to skip the games altogether. The schedule now says speech by Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, and performance by Rita Ora. And I find it funny that we are talking about Rita because she is married to film director Taika Waititi. But the odd thing about that is that she was the one who proposed to him and he said yes. And that absolutely sounds like the classic emasculation love story that we know very well. But then, why wasn't Meghan there? Well, you're about to find out. Hello and welcome back, my Royal Rogues. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. And Harry can complain all he wants and claim that he had nobody to look after him when he came back from Frostnipistan, Afghanistan. But thanks to royal expert Princess Consuela Banana Hammock, we got the receipts. Oh, look, Harry being welcomed back by his family when he returned from Afghanistan. What was that about not having support from his family? Liar. And you know the most interesting part of this is that this is much different than Harry's current appearances, all surrounded by security and stuff. But in this picture, you can see that Charles and William were pretty much by themselves because thanks to the reflection on the window behind them, we can see nobody inside the car and William carrying all of Harry's bags. No, there were no servants around. And this is something that shows you how hands on are Charles and William. But coming back to the shocking revelation that Meghan might not be at the Invictus Games at all, we got a German newspaper that is reporting that Meghan was initially scheduled by the organizer for the closing ceremony of the Invictus Games. The Duchess of Sussex was supposed to take on a special role there. Together with presenter Hatnet Tesfaye, she was going to personally moderate the stories of the war-disabled competitors and their families, it said on the Invictus Games website. Well, maybe the organizers freaked out and were afraid that Meghan was going to give this the arsewipes treatment, or in other words, talk about herself nonstop. But this information can no longer be found there. Instead, Hatnes Tesfaye now seems to be taking on this role alone. The German language page says Federal President Frank-Walter Steinmeier will give a speech thanking the participants for their commitment. Hatnes Tesfaye will then moderate a segment in which competitors will touchingly talk about what home means to them. This is followed by Prince Harry's final speech. And there's a topic that we have to get back to, and it's that picture of William driving Prince Andrew to church at Balmoral. The headlines: Prince William doesn't want Andrew to return to royal fold and oppose Balmoral PR stunt. Well, I cannot confirm this, but it's not hard to imagine that the idea must have come from someone other than William. And the only one with that decision power is, of course, the king. Now, I'm going to give you a very personal opinion about this. I think if Andrew keeps a low profile and doesn't appear in any formal engagements, he's not going to hurt the royal family's image. And I mean, more than he has already done. But just in case, Kensington Palace sources confirm that from now on, any of Prince Andrew's trips will be on a self-driving car. Just in case. But let's be serious this time. I have conflicting feelings about this headline because I was clear about it. I want the Invictus Games to succeed because it has actual stories of overcoming impossible odds. But it so happens that not even the Netflix and Harkle's duo could get into the top 10. And the strangest thing is that this is reported by James Crawford Smith, who was shaping up to be the next Jack Royston, who in turn was going to be the next discount Barbie Can. Or perhaps it has to do with the fact that Meghan felt the need to plant herself in a cameo in that documentary, which has absolutely nothing to do with her because let's be clear, this is kind of Harry's project. Maybe it's not his original project, but you know what I mean. So the Duchess of Sausages ended up bringing some of that bad juju. And the not so tiny section of the population that is growing tired of watching Harry's face sobbing over and over again about his sad past is steadily growing, including most recently Aussie rodeo shock jock Kyle Sandilands, who took aim at Gingerbread following the release of the Heart of Invictus documentary. And he pulled no punches, saying that he's sick and tired of this little bee prince whining. And that's the most accurate and succinct description that I've read on the Montecito dweller in a long time. I'm sure it's relevant to mention that Sandilands did not have it easy as a teenager, going as far as being homeless for 9 months. And I quote again, he wants everyone to feel sorry for him all the time. We all struggle, but surely he's struggled less than the rest of us. And yes, this is a matter of perspective that Harry doesn't have the capacity to grasp. And the receipts keep coming, this time from Scarfy, who shared a clip where Harry says himself, in his own words, that William sent him a letter telling him how proud their mother would be of him. And that gives us great insights about both Harry and William. If Harry had been somehow jealous of William at any point, and he's been interviewed on the front, he just wouldn't have mentioned his brother or his letter. And talking about William, he had this sensibility to know how much their mother meant to Harry. So he didn't just write a letter saying, I'm so proud of you, bro. He made sure to write something that was even more significant for him, as in, our mother will be so proud of you. It's when I tell you that sometimes talking on behalf of other people can have a greater impact, as happened here. What's more, some of the Invictus veterans are turning on Harry in ways that the Ginger Winger couldn't possibly imagine. Take a look at this. I've had Harry's back for 15 years and always championed him, but he's wrong on this one. Double amputee war hero who inspired Invictus slams Duke's claim British press did not cover plight of wounded troops in Afghanistan. And here are his exact words on Twitter. Ben McBean, still love Harry, but again, I have to disagree. Not sure what media he's on about, but I know the British media did cover veterans for years. H4H, Pride of Britain, Media Awards, and so on. Invictus Games, though, created by Harry, game changer for veterans. Thank you. Well, Ben, first of all, thanks for your service. But you say you're not sure what media Harry's on about. We don't know what meds he's on, so we share similar questions. My Royal Rogues, remember that you can download my free 100 body language tips in the description of this video. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Much love and bliss.